Options contract. We saw that both the buyer and the seller are obligated to complete the contract on the agreed date. But what if you want a little more flexibility? What if you want the choice to buy or sell without being forced to do it? That is exactly where options contract come in. Let's begin with a real life example. Imagine you find your dream house. The owner is willing to sell it for 50 lakhs, but you need one more month to arrange the money. So you pay the owner 50,000 as a booking amount. In return, the owner agrees not to sell the house to anyone else for 1 month. Now imagine what happens next. If the market value of the house increased to 55 lakhs, you can still buy it for 50 lakhs because of your agreement. You benefit from the increase in price. But what if the market value falls to 47 lakhs? You may decide not to buy the house. You lose only the 50,000 of booking amount, but you are not forced to complete the purchase. This is the basic idea behind the option contract. So what exactly is the option contract is? A option contract is a financial agreement that gives the buyer the rights but not the obligation to buy or sell an underlying asset at a predetermined price before or on a specific date. The keyword here is right. Unlike future contract, the buyer has a choice. They can exercise the option or simply let it expire if it is not profitable. Now you might wonder, if the buyer has the flexibility, what's the benefit for the seller? The answer is the premium. The buyer pay a small amount of money to the seller when the purchase of the option. This payment is called as option premium. Whether the buyer uses the option or not, the seller keeps this premium. There are two types of option. The first is called call option. A call option gives the buyer the rights to buy as an asset at the fixed price. Investor usually buy a call option when they expected the market price too high. For example, suppose a stock is currently traded at 1,000 rupees. You buy a call option that allow you to purchase the stock at 1,000 over the next month. If the stock price rises to 1,150, you can still buy it for 1,000 and benefit from the price increase. If the price fall to 950, you simply choose not to exercise the option. Your loss is limited to the premium amount you paid. The second type is put option. The put options give the buyer the rights to sell an asset to a fixed price. Investor usually buy a put option when they expected the market price to fall. Imagine you own share currently worth 1,000 each. You're worried that price may decline. So you buy a put option that allow you to sell the shares at 1,000. If the market price fall to 900, you can still sell at 1,000, helping protect yourself from the loss. Now let's understand the advantages of option. The biggest advantage is limited risk for the buyer. The maximum loss is usually limited to the premium which paid. Options are also useful for hedging. Also, investors and businesses to protect themselves against unfavorable pricing movement. At the same time, traders also use options for speculation when they expected price to move significantly. However, options are not completely risk-free. For buyer, the premium paid may be lost if the option is not exercised. For seller, the price can be much higher because they may be required to fulfill the contract if the buyer exercises the option. Now let's compare the futures and options. In a future contract, both buyer and seller are obligated to complete the transaction. In the option contract, the buyer have the rights but not the obligation, while the seller has obligation if the buyer decided to exercise the option. Okay, this is what actually the options.